Hello and welcome back to now the last stage before we head into the finals for APAC. And today we're gonna see AMG versus BOD. They both gonna fight it out today here, and we're gonna be live streaming this for you. I'm your caster, Bruder Ritter, as you can see as on the screen, and we will straight head into the pick and ban from both teams. AMG banned Harbor City. BOD banned Halung Fjord. AMG picked White Elk Fort, which is a very common map here to see in the CBL 2025. And then BOD picked Kurak Castle, which I'm very excited about. I love Kurak Castle. Then they banned Falconetti Gunners, Spartan Chosen, Shenji Grenadiers, Dagger X Lancers are banned, Heaven Range are banned, and Companion Cavalry is banned. The picks are Sunward Phalanx and Yan Yu Dao. So, Falcos being banned there for White Egg Fort. Okay. Or in general, banning Falconettis, I expect it's related to not going for towers, but both maps are not commonly known for destroying towers. So, White Egg Fort, most of the times people let the towers just go through. We saw last time from an APAC game where people just shot with the field cannons for the outer trebuchets to deny their trebuchets hitting them behind the gate. And I also expect not to see them to shoot for Kurak Castle there. So it's about Falco placement in general and playing them out. So they ban just and don't want to play against them. But then we have also like cannons being there, line roar. They should be able to do the job most of the times in the same maps. Spartan Chosen, obvious ban. Right now, it's a very heavy infantry unit right now, heavily used, very, very, very strong right now. Shenji Grenadiers, something like an off-pick in my opinion for a ban, because they are not super heavy strong. They are really reliable and you can really use them on certain angles, on certain maps really good, and they do their job in general with their CC and getting everybody to the ground, But it's not that common to ban Shenjis here, in my opinion, but let's see what they maybe work around for, and maybe they're just using a lot of blue and green units, and therefore Shenji would be devastating for them, and that's why they don't want to see them. Dagger X Lancers right now already in very common ban because it's a very strong unit after the update. They're really reliable. They're doing their job perfectly. You don't need to do that much basically as a hero. You just run through and press this follow command button, and they're just running behind you and killing everything. And you'll just be sitting there and waiting for them to come, looking on your watch occasionally and be like, where are they? They should be here any minute. And then they're killing everything. Heaven Range, pretty common band pick right now. Super strong archer unit. They are really, really hardcore to deal with. It's so painful to play against, and if you don't pay enough attention to them, they easily shoot down your units. And in CBL, it's very common that people are into the mortar combat and therefore not paying that much attention sometimes to their units, and the Heaven Range can be easily set up in a certain angle where you can shoot down on this foes just staying there and waiting for their commander to pull them out of the archer fire. Companion Cav, also like a really, really good cavalry right now. They are not so strong as X-Lancers, in my opinion, right now, but they're still like very heavily used in cavalry, and therefore they're getting banned. So just two cavalries being banned here for BOD. Don't know why they're hating so much on cavalry, because Phalanx being already picked and therefore there, and Phalanx is doing pretty well against Companion Cav and also Dagger Axes, so don't really know, but maybe related to Wild Egg Fort, therefore not so many flanks are happening in their back, and that's why they're just wanting to let this units being out. But then still you have like the T5 Cav, like Yan Yu Dao, they picked on using this. Yan Yu Dao a little bit tricky to use sometimes because there's like a huge difference in you charging all the way your one skill or not. So therefore you need to be very specific with your spacing in between you and the enemy. And if you're using the skill directly and then reactivating it immediately, there's not that much damage. They're still doing okay, but like really loading up this one ability, perfectly timing it, Xing your unit into the enemy, then releasing their skill, devastating damage. It's like, I love this cuff, by the way. It's like, looks so awesome with them like grinding their spears on the bottom, charging up like all the spray of the like fire underneath of the metal going on the stone, and then they just jump forward and slicing and dicing everything apart. I really love the animation of this, guys, and they feel kinda okay. I sometimes hate a little bit on it when they go through Phalanx and you'd be like, this anti-cavalry, and you're charging directly into them, and then they just get CC immune and just swipe through it. That feels sometimes a little bit awkward, but still, it's like heavily depending on you knowing how to space them and then how to control them. So they are a little bit trickier to play. They're not that easy to play. Like Spartan Chosens, you just need to wait and then activate every time the skill, every time it hits the shield symbol. That's not the same. For Yan Yu Dao, you need to really know what you are doing, or at least maximize your damage and your output by knowing what you're doing. Harbor City, by the way, being a ban, totally classic, is not the map that anybody enjoys in general, and therefore it's being banned. Heilung Fjord being banned is like also like a really map which is really reliable on people rotating quickly, and it's often decided on A and B. Then you can also defend behind the long house in the back by the supply. But in general, it's decided on A and B this map, which makes it really fast paced and also like really up to the engagements you take in the beginning, and then you can just pull up from it. So, what do you guys expect from the game to happen? Is AMG winning or BOD? What do you think, guys? And remember, I need like 3 minutes to see what you're writing in chat because we have an auto delay. I'm just watching what is presented to me and casting over it in the end. Today we're gonna also see some interesting matches happening for EU because that is like the semi-finals for EU happening today in the evening. So you should for sure turn in for it again. They're gonna be some really good battles, and I'm really hyped for them. Alpha and Markov G should be the guys casting for you this tonight, and therefore you don't need to listen to my awkward voice and me struggling to find words sometimes. They're gonna be like a match start anytime, I guess, because most of the time I just have to wait for the guys in China to tell me, now it's going on, and then we're gonna see it, the match starting. But we are just waiting for them all the time to start. Because for us in Europe and America, we always on time. Always, if it's like we want to start there, we're starting like directly on it, maybe like 30 seconds late. But here, usually the case is that we are starting like 10 minutes later, something like this. Somebody is asking in the chat what are the picks for. Usually one team bans one unit, then the other team bans one unit, and then you can save or pick one unit. So the other team doesn't have the opportunity to ban these units. Therefore, you're saving. So maybe save a unit would be better to explain what they're really doing. So in general, they are just trying to get a unit for their for their comp. So they are having like a strategy in their mind, and therefore they're picking this unit so it can't be banned by the opposing team. That's the case. Yeah. White Egg Fort. Like, I love White Egg Fort in general really, really much because it's like my favorite map, just based on the history of me and TW and around White Egg Fort. Because White Egg Fort is like, there's so, like I said, good memory of me and my boys defending it in TW, and we had a lot of fun, like ages ago. I think it was like season 9 or stuff like this. There. Then we just went into it. But right now, they started the lobby, so we can jump into the unit screen and watch what they are picking on both sides. So here we go. Left side, RMG is picking like green and blue units a lot. We see some Fenris, which is one unit I really despise because they're killing me because I'm always be like, it's only Fenris, and then they'll be like just barking at you and killing you. We got some camels, we got some cocos, we got a lot of different cuff on the side of RMG. So they're not going only with the name for horsepower, they're also going with the unit picks for horsepower. But in general, there's not that much special units rather than just cocos. So they're trying to play around their cocos. Defender side, also a lot of green units. Therefore, also cocos. And that's it. Both sides are just relying on the special units being cocos. Both sides picking 3 times cocos. No, 4 times for the defenders, 3 times for the attackers. And then a lot of phalanx on Orochi Samurai, like we used to know and to see here in APAC. Going right into it, White Egg Fort. There we can see again the beautiful map trailer of it again. I think all the colors are like making this map a little bit or more beautiful. I don't like the big trees because often you end up from one side shooting to the other side with arty to counter some arty, and then the trees are always in the way. So that's like a little downy for me. That's the supply. A point. And there we go. Trap already being placed. Flying there already just for some standard arty. going for the reliable trap and not waiting or wasting maybe an RNG trap in the end. Shooting down on the RT already. Another trap is going down for the RT there. RMG is playing this like very strategically, not really set up for an Sally there. Oh, BOD has cannons. I missed them, but now I see them. So we have a special unit rather than Kokos. Me missing it again. Maybe I need some glasses because I tend to not see anything while I'm just searching for it. But now I saw it. Kokos, cannons already in the side alleyway there. So they're waiting for their positioning to getting in. Like I said before, towers gonna reach the walls because usually they don't tend to shoot for towers here on this map. Traps on the right side or left side of the map are still standing. You can see them all the way back there on the hills. So that was shot down once by one team because they can shoot directly on X if you're trapped there. They will hit, and they were added like later in the game just based on the fact that usually White Egg Fort was defended behind gate and you couldn't trap there. So they added those two traps just to counter this a little bit. RMG now slowly pushing up the tower, just looking, giving some side eyes to the enemy or opposing team. Already one guy all the way up, shooting down his mortar, trying to pick some units left and right. Cannons being placed in the middle alleyway there. I don't know about those because if somebody sees them there and just traps them, they could be in a dangerous situation. There's already some mortars being placed behind the wooden barricades, which are looking very symmetrical. One field cannon to counter the arty from the gate. There should be also a field cannon from the attackers. A lot of arty being placed here by BOD already. Three arties in the middle on the supply. There's also 4 arties, 5 arties, one above each other, and then another mortar all the way there in the next to the house there. Now RMG slowly is pushing up and putting down their arty. The longbow is looking for some easy picks. If the guy is not watching directly and the longbow is... There are 2 longbow players. They can easily right here now shoot at the Kokos running. I think there are already some Kokos missing just based on... No, could be all of them. But the longbow player should be able to pick some of them and really, really make the guy hate his life there. If you're trying to hide your Kokos from the longbow players, you're always gonna be crying inside. Already some unit investments there. Paladins going or slowly going into the Iron Reaper there. So they're losing some unit models already just based on mispositioning and them aggressively going forward. BOD already is feeling the pain of mortar combat, being on the low ground while them being on the high ground. So Obi-Wan is just shouting, "I've got high ground, Obi-Wan." Now we're gonna see the whole power of mortar combat firing down and raining down havoc onto the defenders. This trap is kind of sus. I hope he slipped. Now we see another batch of mortars going down there. Just mortars aiming for mortars right now. Oh no, one mortar decided to shoot directly in the shield unit there. They're perfectly placed for you just to hit in the middle. You maybe can, if you shoot there, you can just scream Kobe and take it home. The whole damage you can do there. Slowly evolving because it's a mortar fight, so always takes some time for people to just shoot down and aim, or just try to get the arty advantage there and then maybe pushing down. But overall, their placement is not that aggressively, so if they decide to push down for a point, they're gonna leave all their mortars, which often is not the best case in my opinion, because a longbow who can use his abilities and then go back to the arty to shoot down on the ongoing push, in my opinion, is way more useful than just the longbow in general. But that's like basically the case for most of the heroes, because arty is just really strong in this game, and if you utilize them well and place them well in the first place, you can even use them while the push is going on. So now they're hiding their units behind the main building on main gate there, or gate, because there is no other gate here, just having 2 breaches. Now we see the first movement going for X there. They're waiting a little bit for everybody to catch up. I guess the Warcaller just told everybody to go to right side, and now they're slowly pushing up for it. Not everybody, because some people are staying on the left side. We can see a spear and shield staying there, a longbow player staying there, just to make like a flank positioning for RMG. Let's see if they can stay true to their horsepower tactics and go down there and show them what motorized engines feel like. Now they're pushing down for X. One guy already running through. They're going very fast with some units in front, catching a mortar shot, but now retreating a little bit. I think they're just trying to pull them into the arty fire, which is not making that much sense because there's not much coming down. Therefore, I don't know what happened there. They just made them a little bit worried about their X point. Now they're rotating all the way to the other side. And there's the mortar I just talked about. This mortar is placed like you can use it also for the ongoing push, and therefore, in my opinion, a little bit better. Before this, I think they didn't place it like this because they were just afraid of the enemy mortars hitting them from the get-go, which is happening right now. They're taking a lot of time right now to go down. They're hitting the bottom. One guy running for A, not staying on A, just being a little bit curious. Now they're switching around for the left side, going more into the direction of the supply, running directly for supply, also going for side alley. There's going to be a big fight happening there in any second now. Everybody's staying there. Shields going in from both sides. There's a flanking side from Ziladas and also the Iron Reaper going from the other side. A lot of units getting that. There's a huge charge going down the alleyway. Flames now working all the way. Is it flames? I can see flames for sure. But I don't see the unit at all. There's Kokos for sure. Kokos throwing down their X. I don't see special units from RMG. That's going to end them up in a bad situation, in my opinion. But they're already killing some units there. RMG pulling their in directly, already picking new units from the back. Now going from both sides, and they end up winning this fight. Somebody is blocking the supply already, which is really good. So the heroes are forced to jump in. And the guy on supply is holding their ground, so they can't pull new units there, and therefore this is going to be an A push for RMG and them winning. Really, really good. Well executed. Good supply block. In the beginning, I was a little bit scared based just on the fact that I just saw Kokos from the defenders and no special units used for RMG there, but they just pulled through and showed that they don't need any special units for this to happening. They flanked from all directions, which was really good. The cannons weren't placed in time and therefore couldn't use them effectively for the defenders. Right now we see 420 units, 420 for the attacking team RMG and 396 units for BOD on T5 units, which isn't that much of a difference. It's maybe one phalanx unit in total, and that's fine. On T4, we have 300 units for RMG and 210 units for BOD, which is a little bit heavier in the favor of RMG, but still everything okay and fine, because it's just 7 minutes in total, less than 7 minutes left on the clock, and therefore having 1000 units to defend is more than plenty. Here they're going for a little skirmish there, just picking up some random units there, which are outpositioned. Don't overcommit for it, because RMG could be ending up just pushing for endpoint and utilizing your positioning there. Just going for one trap there, just one trap is landing, and therefore they're just gonna push around. RMG is going straight for the for the positioning of the mortars in the backyard there. Again, BOD is being positioned very aggressively here. They're gonna pull back all their units in a second, because just based on the artifire and what we saw before, there is a certain range to blue mortars, therefore you can easily avoid them by just going back a little bit more. And that's what usually was seen here in all the matches. But they are tanking some shots. The placement of the mortars looks very good. If they aligned them a little bit more, it would look way more awesome, but that's fine. One guy flanking there with some cavalry, ending up getting countered by Ziladars. Now RMG is a little bit pushing for end cap here already. BOD is a little bit outpositioned on the right side, because the trap can easily hit there, in my opinion. So if somebody decides to set a trap there, they're gonna hit and they're gonna get some unit kills for sure. RMG now pulling way more cavalry for the push. I guess they are deciding to push any second now, just based on them swapping units. There we go. RMG going for its shields in front. Going straight for point. There's a trap a little bit two-way in the back, in my opinion. Now the defenders are going further. Kokos all the way in the back there again. Also Kokos from the attacker. Kaf going down the middle. They're going very deep inside of this fight. Defenders looking really good here. Having a better angle there to fight this in general. Also the attackers just sending some easy units in. The problem is they need to stay on this supply there behind, or RMG is going to pull another set of units and therefore going in the already weakened setup from the defenders, and then just run them down. But defenders are coming out of this first fight victorious. One cavalry is flanking all the way. Is it just is it the whole unit? I don't know. Nope. I think it was just 1 or 3 models going all the way around. RMG now setting up for the second fight. Units in counts looking very even. Mortars raining down again, so RMG is going back to shooting now with mortars. Positioning the defender again in the same position, I guess. A lot of them being sitting at gate, where they can't be hit from the mortars all the way from there. And also already some phalanx being on the same spot like before again. Maybe RMG is already rotating again. I think they're going for it again. Same fight happening here again. Some seconds later, now they're going way more in front. This is charges going way more badly than the first time. Defenders already in the middle pushing. There's Kaf coming from behind from RMG Lee here in the back of the defenders. Trap is hitting their own units. Attackers still struggling to withhold the defending lines, and BOD is really looking strong here. All the Orochi's doing really well. Phalanx being placed and put down very good. Attackers really struggling here right now. They lost like 100 units more in this fight, which is really bad for them right now. And then they now decide to also waste a lot of cavalry just inside into the anti-cuff there. I think it was only 3 units of anti-cuff, so there should be no option for you to go for this. This is really smart right here, in my opinion. If you have just one dev right now, you can easily block the enemies from pulling new units, because it's only 2 minutes on the clock, and if they end up delaying this by some seconds, this could be a winning supply block for you. But now they're pulling all the units that are left. It's a lot of T3 units and also T1 units. Therefore, this is not the best push they're gonna have for 1 minute 30. BODs doesn't look like they are positioned really good right now, which is kind of awkward in my opinion. Okay, there's coming the Phalanx against the T3 units. They're looking really strong. RMG hasn't that much heroes left, I guess. And they're getting wiped here again. This looks really hard, like a win for BOD. They are doing really, really great on NCAP. Their A strategy didn't look as solid as the NCAP strategy, but here they just showed that they can put up a fight. And BOD is really doing good here. Great cuff charge all the way through the middle. Catching a lot of heroes there. And now we're gonna see the defender just wipe the floor with the attackers. This is a win for BOD. And they're just gonna hunt down the remaining heroes. And everybody who is spawning right now, this is gonna be a sad time for you to run. I expect them to now wish for the surrender button. Like we all do. We want to see the surrender button. So please make the surrender button happen. Just some T1 units. Mongolian using the standard arty to just make some more damage. Now running for his life. 7 seconds, my guy. You need to run. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. 1 second. Survived. Oh. Couldn't be closer. Doesn't count that he died here. So on the left side we have AMG Lee being the first place of the attacking forces. 3 kills, 2 deaths, 6 assists, 97 unit kills, 1151 unit points and 595 support points. Very solid stats, doing pretty good. Second place, RMG Mongolian, which we just saw using the artillery there. 2 kills, 1 death, 9 assists, 118 unit kills, and 1260 unit score. 420, 420 support points. Really solid job there. RMG Mai, 1 kill, 2 deaths, 8 assists, 95 units killed in total, 1109 unit points, and 321 support points. Also did really good. On the right side, we have the winners for this round: BOD Ikoma with 2 kills, 2 deaths, 12 assists, 104 units killed, 1123 unit points, and 803 support points. He healed a lot. He also killed a lot of cavalry, some phalanx, and even jumped for some Kokos there. Second place, 0 kills, 2 deaths, 9 assists, 159 units in total, with 1595 unit points and 500 support points. So he killed really a lot of units. 150 is like very good number of unit kills. Very solid there. 43 phalanx killed, 35 paladins, 12 iron reaper, 22 tower shields. So he did really, really well. And even got some really high quality units there. Third place for BOD is BOD Zeus with 3 kills, 2 deaths, 6 assists, and 123 unit kills in total. That's 1470 unit points and 440 support points. He killed 12 Kokos himself, so he deleted a full Koko set. He killed some Kaf, some Orochis, but he also killed a lot of phalanx, 30 phalanx and 20 iron reaper there. Holy moly. So we're gonna go in the post-battle analysis and just watch on the graphs telling us maybe a little bit more. First attack here, very attacker friendly, going for A there, the whole engagement where they changed sides and they just demolished, or not even demolished, it's not that heavy, but they really did good for the attacking side, ending them up with like maybe 70 units advantage in the end. But then the defenders just picked up on it and just did the same trade basically, and then just did another trade heavily in their favor and ending them and with a win for this match. So the first win goes to BOD, and we will see each other again in like a minute or something like this. So stay tuned, guys. And here we are back at it again with the second round between BOD and RMG. Now BOD is on the attacking side and we already see their units being picked. RMG is going really for the green unit meta here right now, picking a lot of T2 units, a lot of Cocos, some healer, and that's it, with some Orochis, some Iron Reaper, Phalanx. So, but heavily Orochi meta there on the right side for the team RMG. Left side also a lot of green units there being picked. Cocos again, some cannons for BOD. This time I spotted them before the round is starting, so my eyes are getting better. My eyesight is recovering. Also a lot of Orochis being picked there. It's not that many Phalanx, but everybody seems to like Orochis here way more. Oh no, it's like half five. Don't mind me and my sentences. So a lot of Orochis, a lot of Phalanx being the main case here for both units, or like the backbone of the team composition for both teams. What do you expect, guys? Do you expect BOD to win here again? They're looking very, very solid and being really good. Like, A wasn't that solid, but then in the end on end cap, they looked like they didn't give them an inch. So I expect them here maybe to show some supremacy again on attacking, but who knows? In the end, I can be mistaken. The wind going in two directions here on the map. Trap being set for the other side of the gate for the RD here. Last time it was on the left side of the gate. Now they're starting with right side. Maybe this is the advantage they needed to win this attack. So we see a lot of Orachis already being placed there on the defending supply point on the left side. Attackers slowly moving up. Nobody's opening gate or trying to deny the ram in general, which I'm really missing. Like, you can deny the ram once. That's easy. You just go one cannon and then you close the gate again with the ram despawning. Then maybe some teams even F it up and forget about the ram. Maybe they even waiting for their pushes to happen for the ram to go through again. Therefore, it can end you up. Can end you up in a better situation. They opened the gate at least, but it's not helping if they're just not shooting down on the... they did. They shot down the Matalatori, the very common used unit with no impact, just pushing turrets and rams. Imagine being in a war game and just being used to push things around. It's not like a guy being used to just push things internally, but they are being pushed for the heavy duty stuff. They're just doing the needs for their team. Now going on top, the longbow player, they're already going pew pew to the enemy team. Roger's being waiting there on the ground floor, some phalanx ready to be pulled up. So we see maybe the same thing happening again here. There's already a trap flying for the cannon all the way in the back, but the trap seems to be not hitting. Therefore, that's an L for the attackers, wasting one trebuchet for one RD, but ending them up with not hitting it at all. Which is kinda sad. You're not gonna see me shredding tears here, but I guess the attacker's gonna be a little bit noisy around this situation. The tower on the right side gets destroyed again. So they are actively denying one side of the towers. Maybe trying to get the enemy to just focus on the left side. There's another trap going for this field cannon again. If they miss it. No! This time, they did it. Imagine missing twice with the RNG trebuchet. The guys would go fuming, rage quitting, being like, no, can't do this. We need to make a remake. Obvious. Trap hitting, not hitting twice, remake instantly. Not acceptable. RNG, the highest enemy of people, of humankind. Already a lot of mortars being placed. Defenders are a little bit late right now with their setup. Last time, like, BOD and the defending side used a lot of preset artillery. RMG is trying to react right now on the arty placement from the opposing team, but there's no use to place down your arty into high ground placed arty, which was done before. They can just wait for you to build and then just shoot twice, because you need like 2 mortar shots to destroy 1 mortar with blue mortars, and therefore it's often it just ends you in the position where you lose your mortars. There you go again. Next mortar. This mortar is not getting hit. Therefore, it maybe can. It already destroyed another mortar, so that's half worth it. But as a defender, you need always to consider, for you, it's not only enough to place an arty to get 1 arty from the attackers destroyed. No, you need to aim for 2 arties, because in the end, this is something that is worth it on placing, but going 1-on-1 will end you up in a losing situation in the end. Another field cannon being placed at the same spot. Getting trapped again. Maybe they can get all the traps just with field cannons. Trading 15 field cannons into 15 trebuchets. Is this worth it? I don't know. I don't have Dunkel right to me, who could maybe argue with me and tell me, yeah, that's worth it, you can do this. This is a common strategy for me. And I would be like, what the fuck? So mortar combat happening again here. Units being pulled from left to right to avoid as many mortar shots as possible. Most units being on the left side in the alleyway there. And the rest, half maybe. Half of the supply, on the supply, half in the alleyway. There's the longbow player all the way in the back, not even looking down. One of the longbow players, not both of them, but no, it's a unit with the. I need new glasses, man. I don't have even glasses, but maybe I need glasses. I just mistreated the unit archers with the longbow player. So uncommon. How do you think the feature with the units, seeing the units now on the screen? I saw some people complaining about it because they're not used to it right now. Shot callers being like, that's too much. I can't distinguish in between heroes and units in time, and it's like way too much. Can I maybe toggle them off? I already told them, in my opinion, it's always best to have like a features just being added and you can decide to use them or not. So if you want to see the units being displayed on your screen or not, and have just like a checkbox where you can decide whatever information you want to have on the screen. But also, maybe we just need to get used to it. One short sword, they're going for A, getting a quarter of A already. Maybe ending them up at full A if RMG is not reacting to it. RMG already pulling back. What the? What the? He's just intimidating. He's him. He's just standing there. I'm ready, guys. Come on. And they'll be like, okay, retreat. We going back. BOD maybe having the alpha guys. Oh no, they're retreating with all their units. They're gonna trap into it. They're gonna jump into it, and they're gonna catch like maybe 50, 60 units if they're being fast here. Now it's just 20. But even then, that's some units just being wasted based on the fact that they give up an A, which I don't know why they did, but they did it, and they just now pulled back, ending in them in a situation where they now have to withstand on end cap on 9 minutes. Kokos being pulled, cannons being pulled. Oh, cannons all the way there alone. Already 2 heroes be like, ah! Okay, never mind. Already struggling with their inner needs to jump for special units. Really enjoying it. People having like where the spirit is blooming up if they see special units and be like, I need to die for this. This is my whole life meanings to jump for special units. The hero spirit you basically need in TW. Jumping for special units and jumping for RD. CBL kinda sus sometimes if they're too ballsy because just wasting 3 times for some special units and you're out of it. Not very really helping your team. BOD slowly moving there. Already having a mortar in the middle. They learned, or they're a little bit better with their placement because they now can't hide inside of the main gate there. Like BOD did last time, they hid just inside of the gate, but they're now denying this to RMG basically. Based on them placing a mortar directly, or not directly, but behind the gate. One mortar all the way on the top. They way more spreaded their mortars. Like last time we could see RMG just mass dumping all their mortars inside of this small thingy there in the end. But they are just spreading their mortars all over the map and therefore covering way more ground and giving the defenders no room to hide their units. And maybe also luring them into some obvious traps. Or you can see right now they're moving left and right because they don't know really where to hide and where to go. Because just on the placement, on the diversity on placement of mortars there left and right. Trap already flying for end cap, maybe hitting good. Please go out of the way. We don't know what is happening there. Who needs leaves? Go for quicker climate change so we get rid of all the trees here. Don't take me serious there. Just making fun about trees being in the way. Already we see so many mortars flying there. It's like really somebody needs to make a meme about mortar combat and being like, come over here. Scorpion, I think he's called. It's gonna be a main alley push. No, not main alley, but the first alley from supply. So the direct route from supply to end cap. BOD is already gathering their troops now. They're gonna initiate the push. Top side is going first with the Yan Yu Dao going swish and swoosh. And now they're slowly pushing up there, getting the cannons in place. 2 sets of Kokos, so they're gonna play this really slow, I guess. And the defender need to go very aggressively there. Because them having a lot of... you're leaving a lot of room there for people to flank inside of your backline, which is already used by RMG. They're trying to go there in the middle and then fighting this all. You can see all the Kokos already, people jumping into their backline, jumping for the Kokos, jumping for the cannons. Defenders really holding on. You can see a lot of blue, also a lot of red, but there's also a lot of fire, so I can't judge how many defenders are still standing there. Cannons still shooting a little bit there. There's the cuff coming. Oh, BOD, RMG, you need to set up because BOD is gonna run back to their supply, pulling new units and gonna be way faster than you. Also, BOD captured the supply point in the back, so they can't pull new units, and this is gonna end up BOD with a winning fight here. So, very good executed again by BOD. They really did this good, pushing for the point, not really winning the fight initially, but just over the positioning of all their troops and then denying the enemy to go to back to the supply. They end up winning this round for sure, because this is like really solid hold and end cap right now. Heroes just gonna try to jump it, but this is not gonna change the outcome out of it. And that's it. 2-0 for BOD, really well deserved, really good play there, going for the end cap. Really, 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 really good. Left side, BOD Nagi, 4 hero kills, longbow player, 0 deaths, like you're used to see from a longbow player, 7 assists, only 44 units. Good. For 466 unit kill score and 212 assists. He only killed 19 Sun 1 Phalanx and 9 Arashis. So in general, on the left side, we don't see that many kills on units, but still ended him up in the MVP position. Second place goes to BUD. I can't pronounce or read this. 2 kills, 1 death, 2 assists, and then 66 unit kills in total, 913 unit score, and 88 support points. Third place, BUD. Can't pronounce that name, can't read that name. 2 kills, 0 deaths, 10 assists, 44 units killed, 445 unit score, and 186 support points. Going to the right side for RMG, again in the top. 3 kills, 1 death, 2 assists, 99 units. So he did really, really well. So just look at the rest of the team. He did double the amount of the second place in unit kills. So well done. 1,140 unit score, 353 support points. Did really great there. Destroyed the Phalanx, destroyed some Orochi, and even managed to kill some Kokos in the end. Second place is RMG Mongolian. It's the same guys on top again. 1 kill, 1 death, 1 assist, 35 unit kills, 388 unit score, and 227 support points. Third point is RMG Winnie. 3 kills, 2 deaths, 0 assists, 31 unit kills, and 430 unit points. 187 support points. He killed 8 cannons, so he was just diving these cannons like crazy. Going into post-battle analysis, A was not really happening, them just chasing down the defenders and therefore ending them up with catching some of them. And then we can already see the last fight, which was the only fight we really saw in this match. Attackers losing some units in the beginning, going really steep up, but then they slowed down on losing units and just used the second round of new units and just run them through, winning this round. Defenders losing more than 300 units in this fight. Was really, really great and really good executed fight there in the end. So we're gonna see each other in like a couple of minutes again, and then going maybe for the last round for today on APAC. See you guys! here we go. Third round from BOD versus RMG, now on the map Kurak Castle. Already looking in BOD and their attack plans, having the cannons again, having three sets of Kokos there again. A lot of Condis I can see this time. Some archers being there, incendiary archers I guess, and also some healing archers. A lot, or not that many green units this time. A lot of Orachis again, a lot of Phalanx again. On the defending side, we don't have that much green units. We see a lot of condos here. Oh, no, just one set of condos. A lot of egg throwers again. Then we have some healers. Some Orachis, or a lot of Orachis, a lot of Phalanx. Some Iron Reaper, some Ziladars, and then a lot of shields. So I expect just by the unit comp BOD to win this here because they're looking way more solid on the units. And also, like we saw in the last fights, they're being really dominant against them. And there we go in the map trailer of Kurak Castle. Clear blue sky, not that clear, a little bit of clouds there in the somewhere in the distance, which we can see. No wind at all. Gonna be very hot there. Like I said before, imagine being in full armor inside of such a scorching sun. You gonna die, mate. And there we go in the start here already. There's the trap already going for some arty there. Ending up, I think, even hitting two arties. Isn't there arty also in the corner on the left side? No, it's only one arty being killed by the trap, but already aimed for it. Phalanx twice. Two sets of Phalanx going for the gate. One shield unit just to don't give the defending team the opportunity to go for the almighty Sally. Always devastating. Not for the units in general, but for your moral. If the enemy shows the balls to Sally you, you always be like, what the hell? Longbow going pew pew from the big tower again. Already setting up a mortar all the way on the right side there. I expect him to lose his mortar very soon because if there's a musket player, a longbow, and a short spear and shield player, it's not going to be living that long. So RMG is already pulling back all the units going for end cap defense here, looking like my ranked lobbies. Everybody's like, hey, let's go back, and there's one musket player with his, not with his unit, but just the musket player being like, hey, why we don't defend A? Let's defend A. No, we just defend end cap. What the fuck? So A for free here for BOD already. This pike player here on the top is gonna place, on the bottom of the screen is gonna place a field cannon preset, I guess, just to aim down the enemy arty being placed on the wall. There you can see it. It's a classic thing. You can make a screenshot in your head out of it and remember this one for ranked games. Classic. You can just put there a blue field cannon and you often end up with 2 or 3 articles in general, just based on the enemy placing a lot of arty on the wall all the way on the left side. So B also for free. Like I said before, they're just gonna defend for end cap. Most of the units are also like very hidden, so they avoid all the arty fire. They're making a mosh pit on B. There's just some Slipknot just now missing right now, being playing, and them running in circles. Musket player also jumping, trying to hide his HDAS, but he's not really doing good. There's a lot of mortars being pre-placed for the enemies to push top. If they're aware of this situation, they may be just gonna pull back or just place down one mortar to counter this, because with the high ground they can shoot far or further than they can do from the bottom, which can end them up with just the 5 meters necessary to counter them. So, like we all know, it's not about the tactics or how you use it, but also on the length, if you know what I mean. already going there for taps, scouting the area, while the bottom mortars are shooting down on the defenders, but the defenders already placed the units kind of defensive. So they may be losing here one mortar to the left side mortar pre-placement. There are 2 field cannons already being placed in the hallway on the left side, so maybe just judging on this field cannons, I'm going for a deep seek thing. Maybe they're going for the long way on which we are right now in the middle of thing. Already like a little skirmish on top there. We see some fights happening. Is somebody gonna dying in the end? We don't know yet. Doesn't look like it. They're just hitting each other. It's just a friendly reminder, a friendly slap to the opposing team, being like, don't get up here, get down. Shooting with mortars still for the shields being perfectly placed on the end cap there. Looking like the German wall was also destroyed in the end. So should watch out for this. Spear and shield on top there, just scouting the area. Also looking for the guy there, placing down a mortar. This is something you can really easily do as spear and shield. If somebody's trying to place down some arty, you can just throw spears at them every time they're close to finishing, to building it, and then they need to do it again. And this is really annoying. If it happens to you before, you can relate to it, I guess, because this is something nobody likes to be on the other side, on the receiving side of things. Now we see like a slow lookout for all the way back hallway there. Looking like BOD is going to pull through there because just based on the cannons already being placed there, they're already prepping for some arty placement there. Now they're pulling back and they're going to go for big hallway, I guess, because their setup is made for the long hallway. So they just baited the enemy in the position all the way in the back to now face them directly and not from the side, and therefore their cannons can work way better. Also, you can trap this position. Cannons already shooting there, making some damage. Oh, the mortar hits are really... Ah, he hit the corner. He's a corny guy. So they're now playing back all the way back. They pulled some units back all the way again. They're going now for the back with all the units, just some Siladars covering their approach to the end cap. No, end cap, end supply. Go, guys. They're giving it basically for free. You're taking too much time. Based on the cannons. Cannons already getting shot by the mortar there, which could end them up in a situation where they need to retreat again, and they're doing it again. Why you don't do it once? No, you do it twice. Now they're going for the direct push here. You can see it already. Orochi's going all the way above, then going back because... And they may be going now again for back supply again. Slowly retreating, just going for the one kill there, and they're going back for back supply again. It's a fourth and back. Me just commenting every time they go back and forth for it again. Now they may be rushing it. No, they're going for the slow. They're just teasing. You hate to see it. Just teasing it. Some Yanyu Dao going there for the shields being placed. Now they're going pushing through. They're way more in than before, so I expect them to pull through with this. Really good positioning of the units. They're already going for the enemy units coming for the main hallway there, and the cannons just shooting the units back. Coco's all the way on top. We just saw them flying through the screen. This is 4D cinema you can watch. Wiping the floor here. BOD is looking really strong on endcap here already. The heroes need to jump this. I expect RMG here. You need to withdraw and pull new units. Your supply is not blocked this time. So no, it's blocked. How could I think that BOD is not blocking the supply? Am I stupid? Yes, I am. They did for sure block the supply and still doing it, but the defenders still managed to pull up again to it and cleaning this again. So BOD not really ended up getting any ground here and also not any capture points in end cap. RMG really did well here on the defense. But also BOD already being on the supply again, blocking them from putting every time. There's one BOD player all the way in the back and be like, hey, this is not the place where you're gonna pull new units. You always need to hit the high-pitched voice there. If it's somebody annoying you, blocking the supply, he for sure uses a high-pitched voice. There's no other option. He's spamming the Kek V emote every time he's touching the supply. It's not your day, isn't it? I think some ranked players have this sentence in their dreams. If they wake up like sweating in tears and then they hear like a laughing in their back and be like, it's not your day, is it? And they're gonna just lose it. Mortar raining down again. Back to the good old Mortal Kombat. Get over here. Get to end cap. 1,000 units against 1,000 units still. Very odd, just based on the recent unit changes in the last couple of weeks, where we see a lot more blue and green units being used in general. Before it was only healing archers and Kokos, but now they're also in like blue halberdiers maybe occasionally. But now we see a lot of new units being used on the battlefield, more diversity, which is like really hard for the CBL teams because they need to pay so close attention to the recently ongoing changes and they need to adapt so fast to it. So if you're not adapting, you're losing to other teams, which is like really, really, really hard and challenging in general. Now we see BOD here going for the end cap maybe this time, or they're teasing again. I expect them to tease again. Yep. And pulling back again. Hey guys, let's do the same thing again. They're not gonna expect it. Expecto patronum. Going for end cap here. I guess they're teasing once again, then going back. Yes, we can see it. Nice. It's just dipping. They're just dipping every time and then going back. Maybe now they see like, oh, this is looking good for us. Yan Yu Dao starting here to chase down in the end cap, but there's already some Orachis being in place. But still, Yan Yu Dao don't give a fuck. They're just going for it. Ending them up and losing a lot of units here again, based on mortar fires on Yan Yu Dao's. Defenders have enough time and enough units to pull up again. This is not working out for you, BOD. You're losing just some troops for dipping in and out, teasing the enemy, and then taking the fight against freshly used units. Not good. And you do it again. Let's go. Woo! Witness me, brother. You know the Cantina band? Which strategy you want to see? The same strategy again? Okay. Here we go. Now they're setting up Artie. Maybe they're committing, or maybe they're just bluffing again. Putting up their units, but still they're just eating some mortars again, and now they're pulling back again. Just going back for end cap there again. Now it's only 6 minutes left, so you can do this maybe 10 times again, and then you're losing all your units to the mortars. Nice, BOD. Let's go back there again. Maybe some new units are needed now because you already lost so many units to the mortar fire. I don't know. Am I just too cruel to them? I don't think so. Do you think really this is working out for you? Can't imagine. Also, their mortars are hitting. Yeah, for sure, but still. But BOD maybe, or for sure, are better players than me. So who am I to judge their playstyle? Now they're pulling a little bit further than before. They're letting some people being there just going for the supply, so everybody else is going for end cap here again. The big fight is happening now. We're gonna see it. We're gonna witness it. Mimilo's already running through in the Kokos. Zeus is pulling this Kokos in front, throwing their eggs into the enemy. All the people in the back, we can see a lot of people fighting against the Cuff there. NCAP is looking really good for the attacking side. No, it's not looking good for the attacking side. It's really bad looking for the attacking side. There's a Cuff charge coming. There's Yan Yu Dao's coming. Getting blocked a little bit by this player here, but in the end, RMG is looking very strong on this defense here. Looking very solid, but they lost the supply all the way in the back, so they need to recapture it. I think there's only one guy running for his life there. Guys, help me! But he will just run on top there. Maybe running for this grape shot. So 360 units left for the defending team on T5 units and only 155 for the attackers. This is not looking so good for BOD. This is the first time we really see them struggling in this matchup. Phalanx is moving forward there, denying them the main entry. Still being on top there with their units from BOD with the grape shot. I don't know why they just run them. Now they're pushing for it. Oh. Iron Reaper again, man at arms. They were called. Oh, there's the big fight happening. Almost missed it. A lot of cavalry just being wasted inside of the phalanx there, and also in the Orochis. Orochis doing perfect work of the paladins there. Also the Cuff is just now trying to rotate around, but still they're stuck inside of this Orochis there on the wall. Phalanx on the point, so they couldn't even go anywhere where it makes sense. In the end, BOD is just wasting units here. The setup is really bad for them. They need to pull up new units, already blocking the back supply again. BOD has now Zilla Das on the point, which are doing really good here in this position. So it's looking way more even than before, but now they have the back supply secured, or is it still blocked? I can't see it. I think it's still blocked. That's why there's no new units seen from the defenders here. BOD is catching up and now finally getting a good grip on the end cap. Push your units inside of the gate. Try to withstand the oncoming troops from the defenders. BOD can make this maybe a 3-0 here. It's gonna be a close one. 300 units left for them. And the heroes just gonna jump into it. A lot of defenders are dead already, and if they just jump on this point here right now with the heroes, they're gonna end up maybe investing that third life and therefore being out and never coming back. Like my dad used to be. NCAP is looking so good. You need to push your units a little bit more in the gate, I guess, because there's new units coming now. But then you have the Iron Cap. There's some cavalry coming for a perfect flank for the Zilladas, stopping them, holding them up. But the Phalanx is looking really strong right now. But Phalanx are being really easily countered by a lot of heroes jumping into it. It's really now a brawl coming down to it. But all the defending units there, this is looking so good for RMG now again. This is a forth and back, like they're teasing on it again. RMG is now pulling all the Phalanx here, looking very solid on this point. 1 minute 40 left. There's a Cuff charge coming from the side. Easily getting rid of all the Phalanx there. And this looks like the first victory for RMG. They recovered. They are recovering. They are freshly born things. Maybe we can witness like the thing from Rough Justice against Why So Serious again, where they go for the reverse wipe now. Turning a 2-0 into a 3-2. That would be awesome to witness this today. Going into a semi-final and having such a loaded round. But like RMG didn't look as solid as BOD did, but right now this is going to be a victory for them for sure. Therefore, we're going to see BOD and their strategy on Kura Castle right after this round. Lancy just thought he could be sneaking up invisible, but they are having their glasses on and therefore can spot him easily. BOD pulling up the iron caps there. Phalanx just waiting. I don't know, just go in it, mate. It's already over. You can just show some balls in the end and be like, witness me, brother. Just go for it. Doesn't matter anyways. 13 seconds, you're not gonna make it. There is no surrender button. So just go for it. See, that's fine. That's what you want to see. People wasting their lives in the end again just to show that they are not scared of death. And that's the round. First win for RMG, so we also start with the right side. RMG, Gabba, going 2 hero kills, 2 deaths, 11 assists, and 154 unit kills, with a total unit score of 1,577 and 474 support points. Very solid gameplay. Jumped for cannons, but really played the front lines against Phalanx. Killed a lot of Orochis and some Ziladars and a lot of shields. Like in general, 150 kills and everything above 140 is like very, very solid as a gameplay. Second player is RMG Akid. 4 kills, 1 death, 13 assists, and 1,474 unit points with 319 support points. He also killed a lot of Phalanx, just based on the fact that there was a lot of Phalanx inside of the game, and also a lot of Orochis. Then we have the third guy, RMG Lee, at it again, top 3 again for this guy. You maybe need to consider hiring this guy for some team. He is doing really, really well. 5 kills, 2 deaths, 5 assists, 147 unit kills, 1,500 unit score flat, and 239 support points, supply points. Well, 45 Phalanx, here we go again, 45 Orochi, and then a lot of mixed troops. But in the end, them killing a lot of Orochis and Phalanx ended them up in the top 3. Going to the other team of BOD, first lose for their side, but then we can see already BOD Ikoma, he was in the top 3 before. 3 kills, 2 deaths, 11 assists, 153 unit kills with 1,486 unit points, 460 support points. So he was the first place, but despite this, the second place is looking way better in my opinion. Just based on the support points again, he was robbed from the MVP. BOD, I can't pronounce this name and I can't read it. Had 3 hero kills, 2 deaths, 30 assist points. 197 unit kills. God damn! This boy is thick. He killed a lot of units. 1,928 unit points and 264 support points. Really looking solid here. Killing 56 Phalanx, 40 Paladins, 40 Tower Shields. So he was like destroying and demolishing enemy troops. Third guy, I just gonna name them now. No name, can't read, no name. Second guy, 6 kills, 2 deaths, 12 assists, 89 units killed with a unit score of 809 and the support points from 184 support points. So that's the third round. We're gonna see now a mix-up where BOD is defending and also post-analysis we can witness now. Them teasing a lot, giving away A and B for free. Attackers teasing all the time, going for back supply or end cap, then splitting their troops, some going for supply, the rest is going for end cap. And you can just witness this happening basically 2 times. 1 time very effective for the attacker, second time the defender already knew what was happening. You can hear the cantina band in the back. And then the third round was basically just both sides throwing units at each other, which the defender came out victorious. So, like I said before, now we are heading in a small break again, and then we're gonna see us for the 4th round. See you guys! Here we go. 4th round. RMG versus BOD. BOD now being the defender. Picking a lot of blue and green units this time. Bringing Kokos again to the battlefield, to the battleground. Also some flames. We see some new special units being utilized. Therefore, maybe some impact or some change on the battlefield. As a defender, they can't bait that much that like they did last round as the attacking foes. So I hope we're not gonna see them running around this much. The attackers being very focused on Orochis and Phalanx again. This time they bring a lot of Iron Reaper for the first time. They're also just utilizing Kokos this time again. And therefore, there's not much change in their setup in general or on the first glance. From my point of view, always crucial to say that. So nobody's like, "Ah, bro, are you talking mad shit?" No. And there we go in the 4th round here. Kurak Castle added again. If RMG is managing to win this round again on Kurak Castle, we are gonna heading into grasslands. Who's enjoying? Who is a grassland enjoyer here in the chat? Who's like, oh, I love grasslands. Out yourself and go somewhere else. Grasslands. Don't like this map at all. In ranked, it's totally fine in my opinion because the better organized team is most often winning, and therefore it's way more about team play. But in general, CB is a really team play orientated game because it's not 5 versus 5, it's 15 versus 15. Therefore, guys telling, the whole team is on another different point than me. F you, team. You are leaving me alone. No, you are the guy playing alone. So maybe you should focus around your team. Already seeing some units getting pulled. Nobody is protecting for the Sally out, so RMG is not doing the same thing like BOD did. their protection-based playstyle against Sally's. Them already pulling back a lot of units there, but it's a lot of cavalry. And there's also a lot of field cannons being placed there. Are they shooting down one tower? They're shooting down one tower. So maybe we're gonna see here a defense on A, which would be, or maybe they're just defending B. I already saw this before, where people just defend for B and then trying to defend inside of the city walls. Which would be new to see this CBL. They're now just waiting for the turret to get destroyed. I don't know why the attackers not destroying this on their own. One guy just sliding down the ladders there, which is okay. Trap going all the way in the back. A lot of field cannons being placed there just for one side of turrets. Mortar shots going left and right. AMG already looking like they don't know what to do with this now. They didn't expect them to shoot down the turret, like I was not expecting it, so they're now sitting there be like, are they really defending A? What the hell? A, do we even have a strategy for A? No, I didn't plan for it. The fuck we are doing now? I don't know. And they're taking their time to pull up. They're just based maybe on them not knowing what to do now. Because who could imagine a team defending on A on Kurek Castle? You don't. But that's like advanced thinking, huh? Everybody's like, no, you can't defend A. But now people are be like, they're not planning to attack on A, so we defend A. That's maybe the mindset right now. I'm just making up facts here. Yeah? That's not true. Or maybe it is true, but nobody knows. I'm just guessing. Assumption-based facts, always the best. If reality merges with fantasy. RMG Lee giving his life away for nothing. Maybe just stress testing his limits and just trying to get better in a 1 versus 15 gameplay. There wasn't 15 people, but you know what I mean. A lot of mortars being placed now just for A. Maybe this is really smart if BOD just now pulls all their units back because they just got the attacker into placing a lot of mortars and therefore already investing a lot just for this point here. But nope. They don't look like they want to retreat from here. One thing I'm really scared of seeing right now is that I know that the attackers have Cocos and the defenders are now setting up with flames all the way in the back there. So if the flames getting hit by the Cocos, this is going to be like a whole cluster fuck. And therefore not working out for the defenders, just based on the setup. But attackers don't know what to do with the situation. Like, I don't even know how to find the words on why you should defend Kura Castle A. And they also just trying to withstand this attacking. RMG guy killed a guy. I don't know where he flied down. I missed it based on my bad eyesight again. There's the push coming now. RMG pulling up the units to one side of A. BOD already getting the units up. You need to be a little bit faster or you end up investing 2 sets of units there on the one side, which is happening right now. But then also if BOD is now deciding to go up there and really go for this counter push, just some Iron Reaper slowly teething the enemy in, therefore the engagement. Cocos now throwing there. There's no Cocos for the attackers as far as I see, though. No, there are Cocos, but they're in front. No, they're coming up right now. This is just based on my eyesight. Cocos now running into the Coco Flames, therefore just dying there. Where is his Coco placement? Guys running all the way in the back into the Cocos and also the Flames. So already people jumping for it. Attackers looking really strong here. RMG doing their best here and withholding this. BOD investing a lot of units here, but they are looking like they're gonna get this in the end. Dual Blade using his ultimate skill for a unit. Stepping him. One guy running away. RMG Lee here, one of the top players from RMG team. One guy jumping into the phalanx all the way in the bottom. He just suicided into them. Defenders are now pulling back their units. They won this trade, so they're gonna pull new units here and go back for it again. So odd to see somebody defending on A, and even they managed to do it in the end. BOD is just showing like big ball gameplay. Defending A. Oh, imagine being this Pike player. Get roasted, mate. Mortars shooting down now again on defending troops here. So defenders pulling back the units a little bit from on top, trying to hide them from the mortar fire. Only 4 minutes left on the clock. So even if they capture A and B now, it's gonna be maybe 8 or 9 minutes left for 900 units for the defender, which is working now. Every second is counting. In my head, I always count like 100 unit models per minute, which should be fine for the defender. Now they're pulling back, so they just took some seconds there out of the attacking team. Also, one artillery was placed here afterwards after the first push. So for the second push, they just placed the new arty, and now the defenders are pushing back for end cap. Are they managed to catch some units there? No, not really. AMG just called a Tribok, which will not hit. A little bit late, buddy. But still, thanks for the effort. AMG is maybe also going for this T strategy, going end cap, supply, end cap, supply, supply, end cap. I hope not. I don't want to hear the Cantina band in my head again. And yeah, it's based on Star Wars. But it's more like a meme from Star Wars. With no, you want to see her the same song again? Raji's being pulled there, Iron Reaper, some Phalanx, Kokos all the way in the back. The longbow player already scouting the area, be like, show me your Kokos. Oh, they're going very heavily on the scout here on top floor, already pulling some units, so I'm gonna expect them to go for a setup on the wall here, but they're getting catched. One hero is already falling, a second one is falling, so 2 heroes in total just for scouting there. Defenders end up investing no units, I think. I think they didn't lost 1 unit model to the trap there. That's sad, man. 1 unit model. Thanks, cameraman, for showcasing that I'm wrong again. You could hide this fact, huh? No problem. You don't need to show me that I'm wrong. So there we see it. 1 mortar from the spawn shooting inside of the placement on top there. I think this is spawn protected mortar there, so would be fine for him to hunt down the mortars one by one. We see mortar combat at its finest again. For real, it's the best meme for CBL this year. Mortar combat. Double hit on phalanx. Both now have a hole in the middle. People already writing Imagine you're not flanking with Kokos in the chat. It's Imagine, I know, but making fun of my German accent, which is also really thick. It's again a lot of mortars being placed left and right, very spreaded, so the defender has not that much room to hide their units and end up just pulling their units inside of the new mortar being placed. And now they're even retreating with this units way more back. So there's not really a lot standing on end cap right now. defenders are pushing very aggressively here. Maybe they're going for a run out or just a secured position where they can hide their units basically from the enemy fire, I guess. Yep, that's the case. Just hiding their units in a place where they can't be hit that much, but there's still one mortar being aimed good to shoot down there. Oh, and they're losing a lot of units there. That hurts so much. Now they're running all the way back. You can see all the red sand there, based on the unit color spreading the floor. It's not blood for sure. It's family friendly. It's just they lost their juice box on the floor. Two guys running here for Artie. Worked out fine. Phalanx was more confused than the spear and shield player. Going German again. Not good. Here we see the setup from RMG. They're looking like they're gonna go for end cap supply. Please make it a push. Don't let it be a tease. Don't let it be a tease. I really see all your prayers in the chat. Don't let it be a tease. We want to see them fight. It's 6 minutes on the clock. 900 units you need to go through. Get some pushes going. There we see a slow but steady going further from the attackers. Defenders getting also very aggressive. One throw of the Cocos already being wasted there. Now they're teasing. Doing the same stuff. Don't you dare pulling back now to go to MCAP. That is it a common strategy to tease in APAC? I gotta die here really soon if they're teasing this much. Now they're pulling even further back with all their units, so they're going for main gate? Huh? I hope not. Nope. Just a different kind of teasing here. No, they're going for walls. No, they're going back to their mortars. Goddamn, it's gonna be only one push. We're gonna witness after the A push. How long do they need to shoot down with mortars here? Ages. Millennials. Oh, main gate push. Side gate push. Some guys going for back supply, so they're spreading on 3 sides. Now the big fight is happening. Orochi's going there from the back. Another set of Orochi's is going there. 3 sets of Orochi's going there from the back, in the back flank. A lot of Cuff is just going through the middle hallway there. Defenders looking really strong. BOD really dominating this fight here. Orochi's getting thrown one in each other after each other into the phalanx. Guys all the way in the back going for supply now. There's RMG already pulling new units for this fight because they didn't want to waste that many hero lives into it. And therefore just needing new units here to push in this. But the phalanx are looking so solid from the defenders right now. Where's the Cav flank from the back again? I think it's coming too late. The Coco's already getting picked up, so there's no Cav flank possible because it's only anti-Cav right now. So therefore it's going to be a second push happening anytime soon. Defenders are not now going to pull back, pulling new units. Defenders looking really strong on T5 units here. Almost 300 units against 150 on T5. And then we also see like a huge difference on T4. No, not huge, but 40 unit difference on T4 units. And then the rest is looking really close to each other. So it just based on T5, it's very defender orientated. Also 200 units in general in front. So BOD is looking really good, having a really good situation here. Attackers picking a lot of green units right now, or a lot of low tier units, let's say it like this. And then also some cavalry, so also the defenders are having a lot of low tier units out right now. No. Max. But the setup is way better. They have like Cocos ready now, the defending side. I don't see any Cocos on the attacking side. which is kinda odd, but who am I to judge? I'm the caster, I can judge everybody. Ha! That's basically my job. Pointing out somebody for his misplay and making myself feel like I could do it better. But I could. There's the last push coming. Rattan fighters already running in here. They're trying to split their units very fast, but the Koko's already setting their aim at the T5 units here. Samorochi's going for the back flank into the phalanx. They're doing their job, but they're getting catched off guard from the cuff charge. Defenders looking really strong here again. There's the Yan Yudao cuff coming in the back, wiping through the floor again. Another Yan Yudao going left and right, swish and swash. It's Swiffers going there. Defenders looking so good here. BOD is really wiping this right now, and this looks like a deserved win for BOD. Only 150 units left for the attackers. I think BOD is now running them through and just will push out of this. Getting some Rattan pikemen there in the front. Behind them, there's another set of Rattan pikemen. So BOD is pushing through, picking up the rest of everything there. And this looks like, or is the GG for BOD. I should become a rapper. So BOD is taking this home. This is going to be the 3-1 for BOD, and BOD is taking this deserved win back home. 1 minute 30 left there. Attackers might just leave the battle. One guy spawning. The good old RMG Lee. I expect him to be in top 3 again. Really solid guy there. And that's it. Victory! There we go. RMG Lee, MVP on the left side. 2 hero kills, 3 deaths, 4 assists, 62 units killed, and 777 unit points with 277 support points. Outstandingly. Every time you hit top 3 in your team, you should maybe, or other teams maybe should consider hiring you. Great guy. RMG Koala Samurai, great name in my opinion. 1 hero kill, 2 deaths, 1 assist, 69 unit kills, 853 unit count, and 147 support points. Also did really good. RMG Bongteol, I don't know how to pronounce this, but I can read it at least. 1 kill, 2 deaths, 3 assists, 60 unit kills, and 770 unit score. Killed some flames, killed some Kokos, not Focus, focused some Kokos. And that's it. Going to the right side of BOD. Having BOD Ikoma again on top. You guys are just relying on the same guys over and over again. You have like the backpack crew. 1 kill, 1 death, 11 assists, 144 unit kills, 1,670 unit score with 493 support points. Really solid performance all over the tournament. Ikoma, second guy, hire him directly into your roster. Easy GG, easy win. Second guy, 606 support points. That's why he's so up there. Also 20 assists points. He was always there. I'm helping, brother. And then with 89 unit kills, 820 unit points, only 14 capture points, which isn't that much, but still. Third place, 7 heroes killed. He was hunting those boys. He was with his chain dart there and being like, get over here. Gonna shank your brother. 7 kills, 2 deaths, 12 assists, 105 units killed, 993 unit score, and 177 support points. Really outstanding performance by BOD there. Really enjoyed it. Going into post-battle analysis, there we see the attackers wasting a lot of units on the A push, which was very new to see this, or BOD having the balls to defend on A and even manage to come out positive out of this fight. Maybe with, like I said before, the attackers not being really prepared for an A push and just assuming that the defender is dropping it for free. In the end, we're gonna see an even trade for the one end cap push we saw there happening in the beginning. And then the last push was just based on the time remaining, them having to hurry up. But in general, defenders only lost 210 units or 211 units, and the attacker almost lost 440 units, which is like huge difference. Hero kills also. Defenders killed. Oh, no. Defenders? No. Attackers lost almost double the amount of. It's red and blue mixed. Now I'm getting confused. Staff count? Maybe it's mixed, but it should be that the defender killed like 33 units, if I'm not mistaken. 33 heroes. Okay, so that's it for today. We're gonna see BOD in the final on Sunday, and then you might be enabled to see me again, but I hope not, because then maybe some good casters can take over for me, and therefore providing some good talks to you and some energy, mark of energy maybe you're gonna witness. Then Alpha, also Yazuru is there for you, and occasionally we have Payan also joining us on the cast. So I enjoyed the day with you guys. See you soon on the battlegrounds, and win some ranks for yourself and the others of us. See you, boys.